We are in Saint-Léonard-de-Noblat, close to Limoges. This is where the factory has been built, GL Coquet factory. It has been built in 1824, 200 years ago.
Wow.
And we have the luck to feel the history here. Fantastic place.
The river means a great deal for the porcelain industry, right? What does it mean for Coquet?
For Coquet and for Limoges it is important because it is near the river that we found the first mine of kaolin. And kaolin is the essential material to produce porcelain. Porcelain, it's a mix of kaolin, feldspat and quartz. And the kaolin specifically gives the hardness to porcelain. So it's a very hard material, and thanks to this you can achieve very thin articles.
Yes, the delicate porcelain we love to use.
Yes, so the river is important for this, and also it is important for the factory because it brings a sort of moisture atmosphere which allows us to have a very soft paste, and we can work much more easily this paste.
So how many people are working in this factory?
It is quite a little factory. We are sort of artisanal.
Oui.
In France we like to say manufacture. Manufacture, it means work with hand. We say la main manufacture. So it's 65 people altogether in the manufacture. And there is a sort of know-how in the area which is passing the generation. So you can see in the factory the father and the son, the mother and the daughter, or many relatives in between.
So for me as an end user, this is really the most refined porcelain to work with. And I can imagine this is really a complicated process. Can you tell us how the process works from the raw material to the fine end product?
The paste first. So we buy the raw material, and from this we make our own paste, either a liquid paste or a semi-solid paste. We pay a lot of attention to this process because we have noticed if we work a lot on the paste, it is more easy to create the article afterward. So, for example, the semi-solid paste, we keep it during 2, 3, sometimes 4 months in a cellar for the moisturization.
Wow!
And we notice the longer we keep it, the easier it is to use. Yes, and maybe that's thanks to the proximity of the river.
Yes.
We have this specific moisturization in the cellar, so it helps. Then we have this part which is very important, which are the mold. And we are producing all our mold ourselves. So first we have to produce the mother of mold. That will be like the matrice that will help to create each mold. Because, for example, when we make plate, we can use the mold 30 times, 40 times.
And then it's finished?
Yes, because it is plaster.
For me, you know, this is a new world. You're talking about plaster. Plaster you use
for the
molds.
Yes.
And the molds you use for shaping the paste.
Yes.
Into the plates.
Yes.
All right. How does this process works?
So there are 2 techniques. We will begin with the first one, and the semi-solid paste. So it's a bit mechanical here. We have a machine which cut a part of paste. We know the weight according to the article we want to make. And then there is a worker with this machine and it's a sort of repetitive gesture. The machine is cutting, the worker is putting the paste on the mold, and then you've got the machine which is going automatically on the paste, and it gives the shape of the mold. Then we dry it. We dry it. When maybe it's 12 hours, not at a very high temperature, 80 degrees, just to dry it. And then we have one quality control. Maybe I did not say, but we have many quality controls. Once the product is out of the mold, there will be many quality control. And the first one is after the drying, we make sure for hemisphere, for example, the line, they have to be perfect. And we make sure there is no accident, nothing. And then once it's dry, we can put it in the fire for the dégourdi. In French we call it dégourdi. I don't know the name in English.
And what happens?
It is cooked. The paste, it's not the paste anymore. It's porcelain cooked with no glaze.
Okay. So this is the first firing.
The first firing, and it was the semi-solid process.
Yes.
First firing. Now we have the liquid process. So the liquid paste is coming from a huge bassin, and it's coming with a sort of gun. You will fill the mold with the liquid paste, and then you have to wait to make sure the water is going away of the mold. And the way it's going away, it's actually the plaster who is like sucking the water.
The plaster from the mold
Is
extracting the
water.
moisture out of the paste,
yes,
which shapes the plate.
exactly.
Wow. We also went through the ladies who were applying the
handle.
small handles on the cups, which was very, very much detailed.
Oh yes.
Does everyone can do this, or do you have to be very, very specialized?
I think you need, I would say, 1 year of training.
Okay.
And then everything is dry, is perfect, so we leave it on this car, I call it chariot in French, with all the products which are ready to go in the oven.
Because we saw the guy with all the cups coming. My heart was skipping, but he was there with like 100 of cups and putting it on the trolley to go in the oven.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
After the firing, we have, of course, one more quality control, because you could have some dust which has burnt into the kiln, and you could have some mark. So we have a sort of sponge, and we can remove the dust and air, very strong air, and we remove all the defaults again.
Yeah.
And then the glazing. And the glazing, according to the article, we have 3 techniques. I think we will focus only on one, which is the one we use for the plate. You've seen the man. He was putting the plate on his thumb.
His thumb, yes.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yes.
And pouring into the glaze, and at once you have the feeling the plate is floating alone, because the hand is here and the thumb, and then
that was quite magical to see. And then immediately being cleaned afterwards, right?
yes, very important to clean it below, otherwise the glaze would stuck in the oven.
And then you have just one plate, but with 50 layers.
Yes.
So after the glazing process, what's next?
We prepare the trolley for the oven. And the process is very specific. We are not putting the plate direct in this very high temperature.
Oh, no.
Actually, it will stay more or less 12 hours in the oven. That's to make sure we avoid shock. Porcelain and ceramic, it's like a live material, so it doesn't like this sort
temperature
of shock.
shock. No.
Then you have the porcelain, which is white. But as we like creativity, of course we are playing with colors and decor. It's not just, you know, a gun and the paint, and it's not paint, it's glass actually. And it's what brings more solidity to the porcelain. You know, you've got like a very hard surface on the top of your porcelain.
Yeah.
Then it's a very famous technique in porcelain. You know, we call it decal. Actually, you prepare on a piece of sort of plastic the details of what you want to put on your plate. So it could be little birds, it could be little flowers, it could be anything. And then we maybe you noticed the lady, she was sticking this plastic.
Very precise work.
That's the second technique.
Yes.
And then the third technique is by hand.
This was amazing.
And by hand, it's a real know-how. 3 techniques for the decor.
Yeah.
In the kiln again.
Is the third time you are cooking, baking, or firing the
Yes,
porcelain?
for the decor
Yes.
we have to make it 3 times.
Wow.
And again, it's quite high temperature, more than 1200 degrees. And again, quality control. But that's the last one.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
quality
yeah. Okay,
control. And we are preparing the orders for our clients.
Matthias, thank you really a lot for telling us the story about GL Coquet and the finest porcelain in the world. And what I find very beautiful in this story is that the end product is a product of the river, the earth, the people, and the fire.
Thank you. Thank you very much.